Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where you can come on in and get caught up on some of the latest news involving our Cleveland Browns and get a take or two along the way about said news. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. We are ever so close to 7,000 subscribers. Change to fit, although you got a bonus fit change the other day with the breaking news, but we will still change to fit at 7,000. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes. Hopefully this one makes the list. And to everyone who gets their comments in the viewer comment section. And don't forget, in the description of the show, the link to membership is there. $4.99. We'll start the exclusive content hopefully this week. Not this week, next week. And then that will include lives, too. And so that's, boy, if we had the power to go live the other day, I would have jumped on and we all could have discussed the breaking news as it was happening. But that's what we have to look forward to in the future. So please, if you can, check it out in the description. Coming up on today's show, where we stand on the Quinshon Judkins arrest and where this could leave the Browns running back room. Later this week, we could also be giving the linebacker room another look because of another court proceeding. The Athletic dubs a former University of Tennessee star a potential breakout candidate on the Browns offense. And down in the viewer comments, someone who says he is the biggest Browns fan on the planet, and his daughter's name proves it. We will get to all that. But first, let's get through this. So all of the public appearances and things that we mentioned yesterday, all canceled for Quinshon Judkins. There will be no bowling alley appearance. There will be no youth camp today. All of it canceled in the wake of his arrest in Florida over the weekend. I'm not going to rehash. I mean, I know there are details about the airport and the text messages and everything. I'm not going to rehash all of that. I mean, that is pretty easy to find. But what we know now is, as of this taping, there has been no new court date. No future court date has been publicly announced. And when everybody, there's reaction coming in from everybody. But I thought this was, Scott Petrak, who's a reporter with the Chronicle Telegram and the Medina Gazette. I thought he summed it up in a good way. He says, from a football perspective right now, he says there's uncertainty, of course. And then he says, right now, we have to let the whole situation play out, but it's a bad look for the player, the organization. There's uncertainty with the guy that everybody, not only Scott Petrak, thought was going to be the number one back. And so, we talked about that yesterday. Like, he's supposed to be our RB1. So where does that leave us? I mean, we have Dylan Sampson, the other rookie who was drafted. And I mean, he's awesome. So he is probably, he's your new RB1. Depending on what happens, as at this point, it does seem as though Quinshon Judkins, just based on what you look at similar cases, even go back to Mike Hall last year. I think it's going to take a miracle for him not to miss time. So Mike Hall got 5-game suspension last year. So very early in this whole legal process, but just like I said, based on what we have seen in previous years, I think we're going to be without the services of Quinshon Judkins at some point this season. So Dylan Sampson would be expected to set up. And we have Jerome Ford, of course. He's experienced and understands the offense. And then Pierre Strong is still around, but I think I've seen enough of Pierre Strong. I don't know. I was rooting for him, but I don't think he's going to be an answer to help. But the guy, it's another rookie. It could be Amani Marshall who steps up. He signed a 3-year deal already. So he's in the fold. He got $3,840,000 a year is what it is, $3 million total. But he went to Appalachian State. He ran for 713 yards and 7 touchdowns on 149 carries. And he's 6'1", 225. So Amani Marshall may be called on to do a lot more in this season than what was expected, because we were really counting on that 1-2 punch of Judkins and Sampson. But who knows? Maybe Sampson will take the reins and never let go. We don't know. But it's just unfortunate that we have to deal with this now. So, we'll just let it all play out. Now, the other thing is this. We're not even, this is just getting started, and we still have the Devin Bush thing to contend with. He's got another a preliminary hearing he had was waived in June, and so now he has got his next court appearance. The arraignment is scheduled for July 18th. Now, he was charged with simple assault, which is a second-degree misdemeanor, and harassment in the Pittsburgh area back in May is when he was arrested. And so, the Browns have never really come out and said anything about this yet, but the NFL either. So the same situation with Devin Bush. We don't know. We could lose him too. So you might lose some of the depth you had in the linebacker room too. So both sides of the ball, being affected by these off the field incidents, and you can only hope for the best. But that is on Friday, the day rookies report for training camp. Devin Bush has his arraignment, and so it is what it is. So okay, can we talk football now? And how about this? Cedric Tillman, dubbed the potential breakout candidate by The Athletic, which, The Athletic, they know what they're talking about. And they said, the reason they're dubbing him as a breakout candidate is because this started kind of like the middle of last season is when Tillman started to pick it up. And they said, even with the Browns passing game being ineffective, though, they said when Jameis Winston took over and started throwing the ball downfield, Tillman became both a consistent target and a real threat. A concussion forced him to miss the end of last season, but Cleveland did not draft a receiver and has Tillman's role as an outside wideout almost in ink, regardless of who wins the quarterback job. They say Tillman's size is an asset as he can complement the speedy Jerry Jeudy in the intermediate and vertical passing games. And we've talked about this before, folks. Everybody said, why didn't they draft a wide receiver? Why did they, we signed, what could be, we've got Deontay Johnson on a show me deal, and based on what he said during minicamp, he regrets what happened last year, and he's got hopefully he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's playing for his NFL future this year with the Browns. So you got him, but also remember Thrash. Thrash was tearing it up, and lots of good things to hear about it. So I just think, like I said, we've said before, I think the quarterback play has been so bad. We don't really know what we have with these wide receivers, and I think the Browns are super confident they drafted these guys. And the guys they have in the room. So between Jeudy and Tillman and Thrash and Deontay Johnson, and now you throw Harold Fannin in the mix, who can also be used as the third wide receiver because of the way he plays. And so I agree with that. I think Tillman could be poised for a big year, especially now that the quarterback situation, no matter who it is, it's going to be 1,000 times better than what we had the last few years. And so that was nice to see The Athletic recognizing our guy Cedric Tillman as a breakout candidate. Now, what already broke out, the viewer comments. You know that. I don't need to tell you. You're never a breakout candidate because the viewer comments, they already broke out. And we'll start with Seawolf 575. He says, no contract should be guaranteed money. All should be conditional with performance-based benefits, number of games, production, etc. That would stop the nonsense. The NFL and the NFLPA need to get this hammered out. And he's talking about the rookie deals, and remember, this was back when, we talked about Quinshon Judkins and his contract. He hasn't signed it yet. And the hang-up was before it was the guaranteed money. But that's why, there are all these second-round picks who haven't signed. It's the guaranteed money because teams are now offering second-round picks guaranteed money. And so I agree. I just think that, it should be performance-based. You're giving all this money to guys who haven't done anything yet. And so, but I don't know. We talked about it the other day, Seawolf. We're kind of going back to the reason why we got rookie contracts in the first place. So I'm with you, Seawolf. Great take. R. Lamont Peterson, 7771. Crazy. We went from no quarterbacks in any real competition to damn near too many to have an effective competition. And so, yeah, with 4 quarterbacks, he's telling you got the 2 rookies. Like, what do you do? Who do you play? Do you play with the rookies? Do you go with the vets? What vets do you go to? Do you go with Flacco? Do you go to, he's right. I mean, that's the situation we're in. And so now that's where everybody's waiting, and the time is almost here. Friday, the rookies report, and the veterans will be there next week. And we're going to start running downhill, trying to figure out who our quarterback will be. Everybody's got their guesses, but we won't know until we get closer to those joint practices, and then of course the preseason games. But you're right, it is kind of like that. We kind of went from like no quarterbacks to 4, and now we still don't know what to do with them all. It's crazy. BK Brown 7489. Dylan Gabriel will be just like West Virginia quarterback Pat White, who was a good college quarterback. He said, though, when Pat White got to the NFL, Steelers cornerback Ike Hilliard knocked him unconscious and out of the league. He thinks, BK Brown says Gabriel is too small for the NFL. Well, that remains to be seen. I'm concerned about it too, just because of what we've seen happen to Tua too. So they're very similar, the way they play, and I'm surprised Tua is still playing. But the good take, BK Brown. Kirk Miller, 6493. I really wish you would get to the headline and do your promotion during a break. Well, we don't have any breaks, so I have to do the promotion either at the beginning or the end. Or I can make the go in the middle of and make the promotion in the middle, Kirk. But yeah, it's the only places I have. We don't have a break because the show is, generally 10 to 15 minutes long at most. So, but anyway, just remember, Kirk, sign up, go to the link for the description and sign up for a membership, $4.99 a month, and you'll get exclusive content in live streams and all kinds of stuff. But remember that, Kirk. If you can, jump into the description and sign up. Would appreciate it. And then here's what we teased at the beginning of the show. David Brown, 9845. He says, my oldest daughter's name is Cleveland Marie Brown. David Brown named his daughter Cleveland Brown. And he says, I am the biggest Browns fan. And boy, oh boy, if that doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. David Brown, that was awesome when you put that in the comments. I thought that was great. And that's the kind of fandom we need around here. We, add positive vibes. But David Brown and Cleveland Marie Brown, thank you so much for chiming in the viewer comments today. Okay, that'll do it for today's show. We'll keep you posted. If anything happens and we need to do something, we'll change it up and we'll be there. But hopefully we can just get the football now without anything else happening. That's all we can hope for. All right, go Browns. We'll see you next time.